I am standing here next to one of the biggest legends in the comics field, Sergio Aragones. Sir, how are you?
Very good. Thank you very much. Having a great time.
Excellent. What can you tell us about your start in comics?
Oh, in comics?
In comics.
Well, I started first as a cartoonist doing gag cartooning. So I started in magazines. I always loved comics, but to me they were sort of like so impossible to do because I thought they were the best thing ever. You know? So I always never thought I could do comics. But I was always drawing comics since a kid, but they were really bad. And when I went to Europe, I've been working for MAD since 1962. When I went to Europe, I realized that there were humor comics, which there were none on the States. So I said, hey, I can do my comics now because there's a market for it. And I started doing things for DC. That was in probably in 68, something like that.
Sure.
And I started writing, not drawing.
Okay.
And for the House of Mystery, and I did an issue of Inferior 5, and another one for, I wrote scripts for Jerry Lewis comics. I did all kinds of things. I did Plop, then
Right.
Badlash, and then I did my own, Groo, in 1983, and it took so long because that was the only time I could own my own copyright. So the majority of comics before, they were owned by the big companies. But Groo was the first comic ever published by a major company that the author was the owner. So that's...
And since then, Groo's gotten to change companies a few times because of that.
No, because the companies die, so Groo goes to the next one. You know, the first company was Pacific, and it went into distribution, and then it stopped publishing. So went to Eclipse, and Eclipse died. So then went to Marvel, and Marvel made Epic, and Epic disappeared. Then I went to Image, and then I went to Dark Horse. So it's been published by almost every company. Yeah.
Is the plan to get him on every single company?
No, if Dark Horse continue, we are good with Dark Horse.
Good.
It's a very good company.
And you've obviously, had Groo for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
It's unusual now for, I think, artists to stay with one character for as long a rich history.
Well, I think if the character survives and people like it, you continue doing it.
Of course.
I love Groo. It's infinite stories. You know, it's the stories write themselves, and with the help of Mark Evanier, you know, it's very easy. You know, and it's no surprise. I've been with MAD since 1962, and I'm still doing it, and that's close to 50 years. So I like a character, people like the character, they buy it, I continue doing it. No. I'm doing a new comic for, I started drawing The Simpsons.
Okay.
They asked me to do a few issues and draw a section for the Bart comics called Maggie's Crib,
Okay.
a pager to pager that they published by, and now we're going to publish my own comic. It's called Sergio Aragones Funnies. It's going to be a monthly, and they're going to be gags and stories, personal tales that once I've been writing about it, like in Solo and other comics. So it's going to be a melange of adventure, but humor, everything, and gags and cartoons. So
excellent. You have those great little bits tucked into the pages of Mad Magazine.
The marginals.
The marginals that really bring the whole magazine to another level.
Oh yes, thank you.
Where do those ideas come from?
The ideas?
Yeah. And is there ever any editorial of like, wait a minute, this is too rough for the margins?
No. If you were 10 years old, I would say, there's a tree that is full of ideas, and I go at night and I pick up the ideas. But as an adult, I tell the guys, well, we think the same ideas like the musicians get their ideas, and writers, and carpenters, and everybody who has an idea. That's how we do it. The more you do it, the better you become at it.
Sure.
And that's no doubt about it. The more you stick to it, the more you perfect the way to do it. So the ideas come from everything, you know. The brain works in strange ways. And I wouldn't know exactly how that happens, but
It just does.
it does.
Excellent.
Like for musicians, to me, we're still hearing music from the 14th century, the 15th century. How that had perdured so many years, had lasted so long? Well, because it's magic, you know, and that's where those guys get 7 notes or 8 notes and make all those compositions. That I don't understand how they do. But the same way we do cartoons, I guess.
Sure.
They get it and they do it, you know. So
I was wondering if you could also talk about how the comics industry has changed from when you've started till now.
well, it changes like everything else. It is not a specific change for the comic book industry itself.
Okay.
It's everything, the book industry, the car industry, everything changes. It had changed since the computer came in.
Okay.
The art has gotten better, the writing has gotten better. What has gotten worse is that it's not mainstream anymore, because kids don't read anymore. I mean, I'm talking of the majority.
Sure.
They are in the computer, they like games. Whose fault? Maybe the companies, they didn't care for the young people to read comics when they were very young. They abandoned them to do comics for adults and collectors.
Sure.
So they can be blamed for that. The stores, the system of distribution can be blamed because they went into specific shops instead of having a general distribution. They can be blamed too. But the real blame is that kids took to games and electronics. So we have to realize that the comics have to go into that direction, because that's what the young people are interested in.
Does this mean we're going to see a Groo game?
We have a Groo game already. Groo, 3D Groo comic.
No computer necessary.
No computer necessary. No, I don't have right now the rights. So they bought the rights to make a movie. So in the contract includes a lot of things, so I cannot do any more until the movie gets done. You know, so
Sure.
maybe once the movie's done, then the game will come from the movie. You know, so who knows how those things work?
Is there anything you'd like to see happen?
In true? No, I love to sit and draw. I draw on paper, I draw with pens, and to me that's a magic moment when I sit there and my drawings appear. If I was younger, if I was starting the career, I absolutely be drawing on a tablet.
Right.
It is magic. Touch and color comes out, and touch you can do your layouts and everything. Absolutely, yes. But after perfecting something for 60 years, I'm not going to start something to be a mediocre artist on other medium, you know. But if I was young, oh, absolutely, I'd be doing it.
Well, and that's one of the things that really strikes me about your artistic style, is that you can clearly tell there's a whole lot of love and joy in all of it. And I think that's great. You don't see that detail.
No, it's to me that's the best moment is when I sit on my desk and start working, you know. And the reason of the many conventions is because you meet the people that read your books.
Yeah.
Some of them lie because they want it for eBay, you know, but the majority you trust because they really love your work. And then you know who you're working for. I've seen people here that you can see it on their eyes that they love your work. And that's motivation. You go back home and you know who you're working for. You know, I've seen people dressed like Groo, kids. I've seen already a grandfather that collected Groo and his grandkid reading it. And the grandfather was obsessed because now the kid is stealing the Groos from his collection to read his grandkid. So this is fantastic. You know? I wouldn't trade that for anything. You know?
That has to be a great testament to your work.
It is. It is the best. The best.
If there's anything else to do, or are there goals you've yet to achieve?
Well, if we put everything in context, no. I've been very fortunate. I never had work in my life. I just sit and draw what I like to do. have traveled all over the world. I have a very generous income because of the comics and all my career. And I have won the best awards in the world, you know, name it and I got it. So when they talk about movies, I won't be drawing the movie, so to me that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
It means when somebody buys a comic for $3, because I drew it all. So if they make a movie, like, what do I care? It's just more money, but that's it, you know? There's no...
Speaking of drawing, how long does it take you to get out an issue? Like to sit down and draw it and to write it? And have you perfected it with speed now?
Well, speed is for show. They say, oh, Sergio, the fastest cartoons in the world. Well, I go and do a presentation. I do it fast because I don't want the people to get bored. You know, you just do it fast. You go, oh, it's the fastest. No, because when I see it at home, I do research and I do it slowly so it looks good on paper. So I'm fast to entertain. You know, when I do it, an autograph, which I've been doing it all my life, I can do it with my eyes closed. So I go, oh, he's so fast. Well, you better be, you know, for that. But the speed doesn't help that drawing.
Right.
At all.
I wouldn't think so, no.
So the quality is faster in a sense that humor is faster than the serious comic. Like Joe Kubert is drawing a comic, a hand has to look like a hand. If I draw 4 sausages, that's Groo's hand. So it doesn't really make a difference. So that speed gives a humorous approach to the thing. But fine artists have to perfect their drawing. It has to look like a hand. Mine doesn't. So that helps. But if putting time, this is how long it takes. Well, it have taken 60 years to being able to do what I do.
Sure.
But doing an issue, I can do a page a day.
That's a good record.
I have done 22 pages in a weekend. But when it has to be done, it can be done, you know. But if I do a page a day, I have time to do the rest, write other things, do a page for another comic, think ideas for Matt, build a piece of furniture, go out with my wife. So, you know, it's relax. So a month to put an issue out.
Okay. I think that's an amazing speed. I will let you go with one last question because you're getting a wonderful line here.
Oh, they're just having fun at us.
Of course.
So it's all right.
If you weren't doing this, what would you do?
I don't know. I study architecture. I went to college, though. I doubted I'd be doing architecture, you know, but I could. I could be a carpenter. I'm good at it. I do all kinds of things, but no, I'll matter money or something. You know? Who knows? I don't know what I'll be doing. I love to do this.
Excellent. Thank you so much for taking the time
My pleasure,
to talk with us.
Thank you.
And if folks want to get a hold of you or check you out online or anything like that,
Whatever they can get it. I don't have a. I'm not in.
no computers.
No face. Yeah, I scan my work to Matt, and I look at research in Google, and I get emails. But if they want to look my art, they can go to any Mad or Groo or anything that has cartooning. But I'm not in Facebook or anything like that.
Okay.
Somebody put friends of Sergio, so you. But no.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk
My
to
pleasure.
us.
My pleasure.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Record Man, the joke's on you.